Okay, how many of you at some point in your lives went to Edison Elementary School? Wow, that's a good crowd there. Hey, we got about like 15, I guess, or something like that. Last month, Edison celebrated 125 years with an open house. How many of you went to that one? Okay, we've got about 3, 4, something like that. 400 people showed up for this event. There were photo displays in the gymnasium, memorabilia. They dedicated a 3D wall plaque of Thomas Alva Edison. No, he did not go to Edison School, but it was named after him. And at the time it was built, he sent an acknowledgement letter thanking everyone for the honor. We also had a slideshow in the auditorium by Dennis Gallagher showing us historic buildings in Northwest Denver, and he told us some interesting stories. Edison has this fascinating architecture. It looks like an old university Gothic style or something of that sort. It's quite enjoyable to visit, even if you didn't go there. Now, there was a very nice article in the North Denver Tribune about this event. Included in the article was a picture of 2 of the attendees, Dave and Gary Bosley, and Dave is seated right over there, and he went to Edison. Dave is from my North High School class in 1964. In the article, it says, one attendee mused, "I haven't been to the school in 65 years. I'll have to come more often." I didn't realize I was talking to a reporter when I said that. In 1951, I went to kindergarten there. 3 of the happiest years of my life. No, actually I was at Edison for 1 year, 1951 to 1952. In that year there were over 900 students at Edison. That number has never been that high since. I was part of the original baby boomer generation. It currently has 560 students. I saw the very room that I went to kindergarten at. It still has a fireplace. My kindergarten teacher was Miss Wright. Many guys spend all their lives looking for Miss Wright. I found her at age 5. I was very quiet and shy. Now let me explain this. I have Asperger's syndrome, a mild form of autism, which means that I'm good with logical thinking, but being sociable to people does not come naturally to me. Thomas Alva Edison himself had Asperger's, so I came to the right school. So I didn't talk to anybody. Nobody knew that I could talk when I went to kindergarten. Nobody knew if I had any brains. If a fellow classmate came to me and tried to start a conversation, I would just stand there because I didn't know what to say. Of course, I've compensated after a career in radio and television. Now I don't know when to shut up. In those days, I was very slow at everything. For one thing, I wasn't completely housebroken. Miss Wright would call my mom and say, "Could you come down and re-diaper Donald? The kids are playing water polo again." During recess, while the other kids were running all over the playground, I would just stand there and contemplate the architecture. The concept of throwing balls and screaming at each other didn't make any sense to me, and it still doesn't for that matter. But Miss Wright could see that I had a fascination with scientific things. She'd give me a little magnifying glass to play with, or a little prism. That would keep me busy on the playground for weeks, and as you can see, I'm still playing with things like that. I'd like to talk to Miss Wright and thank her for what she did for me, to tell her that I was the shy guy who couldn't talk, and then tell her how I was a radio announcer and a TV announcer, how I interviewed famous stars, how I went on the road as a stand-up comic, how I was president of the Denver Men's Society, how I won 10 grand to national television, how I wrote a best-selling book. I'd love to tell Miss Wright all of that, but I think she's dead now. I know that many of you have your own Edison stories, and you can Google North Denver Tribune Edison to read the stories about their anniversary and to contribute stories. So, thank all of you for listening to my story.